Hello, I'm Steven Roy Goodman, host of Higher Education Today. Welcome back to the education program that connects you to contemporary issues, people, and institutions involved in the world of higher education. Today's show about dual enrollment is a special joint production of the University of the District of Columbia and the Arlington Career Center. Margaret Chung is principal of the Arlington Career Center in Arlington, Virginia. Margaret earned her master's degree in educational leadership from the University of Arizona. Deirdre Magro is the dual enrollment counselor for Northern Virginia Community College at the Arlington Career Center. Deirdre earned her master's degree in education counseling and development from George Mason University. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Well, maybe if we could start with what is dual enrollment and why is Northern Virginia Community College involved in something like this?
Steve, dual enrollment is actually college courses offered at local high schools. We use faculty members who have been fully credentialed by the college. Most of them work here in the high school. Those teachers will also use syllabi that have been approved by the college, and they have liaisons on the campus to make sure that our work stays the same, that's on the campus.
So does Northern Virginia Community College have a relationship with another center as well?
Absolutely. We work with different school districts throughout Northern Virginia, but I'm personally assigned here to Arlington County, the Career Center.
Okay, and Margaret, then you're the principal of this center, and so why do you have this relationship with Northern Virginia Community College instead of some other place then?
So it's considered a collaboration between the school district and the local community college, and the Alexandria campus of the Northern Virginia Community College is our closest community college. So we consider this our collaboration between the school district and Northern Virginia Community College.
And can you say a word or two about some of the programs that you offer here? I toured this facility, and one of the things that caught my eye was the auto mechanics part of this, but maybe if you could speak about that and perhaps some of the other offerings that you have for students.
Yes, it's a very exciting place. It is a centrally located career and technical education high school program for Arlington Public Schools. So we have our comprehensive high school students who are bused here 3 times during the day for 4 major areas of career and technical education, one being in engineering, of which auto tech and auto body, and many of our other engineering-related courses, such as AutoCAD, and we have auto engineering as well. We also have the areas of IT and digital media, for which our students here currently in TV productions are helping to produce this actual show and are taping this show today. It is going to actually be one of the courses that we offer also as dual enrollment through Nova Community College. So we offer also digital animation, and we have IT courses, advanced IT courses at all different levels, computer programming, cybersecurity. Also through the human services, we have cosmetology, culinary arts, JROTC, early childhood education. And then we also have an area related to the health and medical services, such as EMT, physical therapy, forensic science, animal sciences, pharmacy tech, and health and medical terminology.
That's pretty exhaustive. That's terrific. Well, as you probably have heard before, I mean, some people will probably say that's great because you're giving students a great hands-on experience.
Yes.
The counterpoint to that may be, well, if students are here learning TV production or doing emergency medical services or some other program that you're doing, they're not taking certain courses in other places. So how would you answer that question when somebody might say to you, well, it's great that students are doing hands-on, but is that coming at the expense of students doing traditional academic work?
So students that are bused here take their traditional academic courses at their home schools, and they're bused here for their elective courses. So in place of taking the elective courses at their home schools, they're coming here because our facility, our program, is equipped to provide these hands-on lab settings that are very closely related to what they would experience in real careers. So it's an excellent opportunity that we provide to the students.
And Deirdre, in terms of students coming to Northern Virginia Community College, do you find that the students who are enrolled, or duly enrolled here at the Arlington Career Center that they're better students once they end up matriculating at Nova?
I've learned too that this particular year we've offered some general academic classes here at the Career Center. We have 6 credits of English and 6 credits of math. So the students that are in the dual enrollment career classes can also complement that academic work with their career-related work. Because of that, when they get to campus, we've seen students come in with a much easier transition. Their applications have been done. We've counseled them with financial aid. We've counseled them in program planning. So the transition is very smooth. A lot of the administrative tasks have already been done. So when they come to college, they're ready to study. And by the classes they've taken here, their study skills are really kind of where they need to be for the college level.
And how many students a year end up going to Northern Virginia Community College after they finish here?
In Arlington, the general number is about 17%, but a lot of the students I work with here tend to matriculate in because they've already got the credits and they really know what they want to do. So I would say about 50% of the ones I work with will go right in to the campus.
And will, after they spend some time at Northern Virginia Community College, might they go to other universities after that as well?
Absolutely. Under the guaranteed admissions programs that we have, a student that will do a 2-year transferable degree can matriculate to many, many of the colleges in Virginia. So we see a lot doing that. We see a lot also taking their career and technical skills here and kind of using them to tweak the full academic degree. As you know, the academics and admissions for the 4-year colleges are very, very competitive here in Virginia. So a lot of students will take a good academic portfolio and really add that career and technical, especially in terms of the health and medical, engineering, early childhood, to really make a good application when it comes time to go to the 4-year school.
And can you point to some students' careers and paths that students in the past couple of years have done? Maybe they've been here, they've gone to Nova, and then they've done something else. Maybe have they gone to William and Mary? Have they gone to the University of Virginia? What's happened?
I have seen a couple of students go to the University of Virginia. One particular student was in auto tech. His main goal was to do engineering and business, but he liked working on cars. And so he really kind of pulled that together. His long-term goal was to maybe even run an auto business one day. So he planned it out where he would blend career, academic, and then go on to UVA. We have a lot of students who go to George Mason because it's convenient here. And more this year, I've seen a lot of students looking at Old Dominion and Virginia Tech because, again, their technical programs seem to really be high in terms of transferability from our college, and just students really want to go there.
Fair enough. Margaret, I know that you spent a lot of time in Arizona before you came here, and people who see the show often are not just in Washington, there are other places as well. So maybe if you could say a word or two about how this would work. Let's say I was a superintendent in Arizona and I wanted to set up something like this. What would be some of the things that I would need to do to set this up?
So for the most part across the United States, career and technical education programs are for the most part housed at the home schools. There are, depending on the size of the district, they may centrally locate so that they are busing students. So for instance, the surrounding districts here in Virginia, the larger districts tend to house at perhaps just some key areas that are geographically located for the convenience of students to be able to access and be bused to. In Arizona, I actually was part of Tucson Unified School District, and they have 11 different school districts in the city of Tucson. And what they decided to do was create more access for students by creating a joint technical education district. So that's participating districts within Tucson could allow students, even though it was outside their immediate district, could then attend a program at another district that was part of the JTED, or Joint Technical Education District, because they offered courses that their own district was not offering. So that was a creative solution. I believe that the combined collaboration of the local districts in Tucson were able to create, and it was actually led by the president of the University of Arizona who kind of came up with that model. So that's one example. I know there are different models. Currently, the trend has been to really focus on creating a direct pathway for students from high school to community college into jobs. I know that IBM has created tech academies and high schools, I believe in New York, where they provide opportunities for students to earn an associate's degree within a 5-year program in high school, where they've included the dual enrollment, and then students are then guaranteed a position within the company. So there are many creative ways that we're hearing, and as the industry is changing, they're finding that by employing this backward design model and collaborating with industries, with community colleges, and local high school districts, they're able to create successful pathways for students.
Well, that is interesting, because a lot of people say that the German model, that in Germany it's done particularly well, and that the United States is lagging a little bit behind in terms of the connections between our educational institutions and our industries.
So Germany has an excellent model. Their population, for the most part, is not as diverse and as inclusive as the United States. We have, with our public education policies, needing to create equitable opportunities for all students to attend a 4-year university or college. So the idea of tracking students, such as the gymnasium and the vocational track that the German system creates, is seen to be limiting and perhaps not as equitable in terms of the opportunities that we might provide students. So the United States, in terms of our educational system, is modeled differently. And so it's really about choice and offering the optimal opportunities for all students, regardless of their economic background, or perhaps the educational background of their parents, or the community from which they're coming, that we are trying to, through policy, create open channels for all students to access 4-year universities and higher education opportunities. Within that, we're finding that career and technical education has its role. And so it's not that it's seen as a separate path necessarily, but that it could be included. And what we're finding in the most interesting ways, because of how students are able to make connections to what they're learning on a hands-on level, to what they may want to pursue academically. For instance, we have quite a few of our students in the auto tech program who plan to become mechanical engineers and perhaps one day design cars of the future. So in terms of being able to provide that hands-on career and technical education coursework to students, students have a choice. Perhaps even they might pursue a 2-year degree program at a community college, but find that as they enter the program that there were opportunities that they had not thought about before entering the program. And so they learn through the experience that in fact that there are more opportunities. And so by taking the career technical education course, going to the community college, they find that there are more opportunities that they were not aware of, and it has equipped them even that much more and prepared them for those opportunities.
Deirdre, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I think that's the beauty of working at a school like the Career Center, because you see the students that know from day one they want to go to William and Mary. They want to be doctors. They're really kind of intertwining their EMT course, shall we say, with a pre-med curriculum. We also see the students, as Margaret said, that have always loved to work on cars, but to see that I can really make something long-term of this. This is a starter career for me. Again, like the student from UVA that wants to run a business involving cars. So I think it really gives students a realistic view of what a career involves. A lot of students also in the early childhood education program certainly start wanting to be teachers, but a lot of them really look at the different helping professions that are associated with that. So we see certainly potential teachers, but nurses, social workers, people that really want to work with people and make their lives better also.
And what about community support? You must need community support to make this work.
Absolutely. We have tremendous community support from all around Arlington, different civic organizations, parent organizations that have come forward, grants that have been awarded to us, as well as other higher ed educational organizations that have truly shown their support. For example, we were recently awarded 10 solar panels from James Madison University, and not being fully equipped to work with the solar panels, we were reaching out to the community and had one of our local experts in the industry of alternative energies come and provide consulting to our students and to our staff in terms of the multiple usages and ways in which the solar panels could be accessed and used as part of our greenhouse here that we are refurbishing.
Well, that does raise an interesting question. What happens if the community support isn't there?
I think if the community support was not there, it would be more challenging in that it would not feel as though we're part of the larger community. I think that's the beauty of what we have here because of the large-scale community support that we are provided with. It feels like we are one part of the larger community and that we are here to serve the community. So for instance, we have apprenticeship programs at a local senior living facility called Culpeper Garden, at which our culinary arts students have paid apprenticeships in their dining facility and are preparing dinners for the residents of the facility. And we hope to also have them visit us on the Friday before Mother's Day so that our physical therapy students will provide light massage therapy, and our cosmetology students will provide nail services and hair, and our animal science students will provide grooming to their pets that are going to be brought here.
But that might be a tough sell politically. Not that there's anything wrong with that program, but you could see how somebody might say, we're spending a lot of money to do something like that.
It's considered a give and take relationship. I believe that what we're finding that as our students, and we're open, I mean, many of our services here are open to the public. So for instance, our cosmetology lab and salon is actually open to the public. And so we offer reduced fee services to the community, to perhaps members of the community that may not be able to afford a high-end salon care. So they come here on a regular basis to receive wonderful services from our students, who then mutually benefit because they get to practice on actual clients. So it's seen as a very mutually beneficial relationship that we have with the community.
Fair enough. In terms of the biggest challenges, what are the biggest challenges that you both face from the high school side and the college side?
So I believe one of the challenges that we face, even though it is considered a great support to have so many students bused here from the comprehensive high schools, is the issue of scheduling and being able to provide transportation that is maximally providing the instructional time that students need in their courses here at the Career Center. So as you can imagine, facilitating and managing the schedules of 3 different comprehensive high schools, as well as some other high school programs. We have 4 other high school programs that also participate and have students bused here. It becomes a challenge to manage students coming in and out during the day to make sure that the instructional time is not lost and that they have the time needed to be able to take the full coursework that they are hoping to take. So likewise on the home end, on the homeschool end, they always find it a challenge because students are having to dedicate 2 back-to-back elective periods out of their schedule. And because of the way master scheduling works at each of the high schools, it's always a challenge to try to find ways to open up a student's schedule so that they're able to have those back-to-back periods so that every day they're able to be bused here for the courses.
Fair enough. And what are the challenges that you face on the Northern Virginia Community College side?
I think one of the challenges we face is to really allow students to embrace the fact that they're also college students while they're high school students. And while, sure, they're juniors and seniors, they have responsibilities as college students regarding their grades, their attendance, how this is going to affect their long-term future. Because with us, they do establish a college transcript. And while it works beautifully for the students that can transfer credits, that do well, there are a few that really don't realize they're in college. They might not have what I call academic maturity, where it may be fun, but they don't realize it's a keeper in terms of their transcript and financial aid. So a challenge is to really kind of continually work with those students to make sure that this is the right opportunity for them, because again, it's going to impact their future.
Fair enough. And you just mentioned financial aid. How does this impact students who are trying to save money on college? So let's say I wanted to get out of college earlier by going faster. Would that help me?
Absolutely. It certainly depends on where you're going to go to college and what you're going to major in. But for example, a student, let's say that was taking our 6 credits of English and 6 credits of math this year, we have quite a few that are doing that, they technically would be able to waive freshman English and perhaps introductory math at a number of the local schools. Again, the final call does depend on that 4-year school, but it would certainly give them credit or maybe even advanced standing, where perhaps they didn't get credit, but they wouldn't have to repeat a basic level class. They could go into something a bit more advanced. So that certainly is helpful in terms of the academic classes. In terms of the career and technical classes, it allows them to develop a portfolio that some schools will actually use to award advanced standing for them.
Well, let's look at the students who are taping today. And I think it's fair to point out that this is being taped by students who are currently in the program. How are they getting credit for this taping and for the work that they're doing this semester and this year?
Well, in terms of college credit, this particular class will start dual enrollment next year for the 15-16 year. Students will be able to earn up to 6 credits in video production that will go to some of the local schools. I know for a fact some will actually take it. Other schools will allow them to develop a portfolio that they can show to see what they can do in terms of maybe stopping taking basic classes and go to more junior or senior level classes. It also makes them more competitive in admissions too, because a lot of the schools these days don't just want to see a transcript, they want to see other things. So these students will certainly have videos and other materials they can send.
And what about extracurricular activities beyond here? So would a student who's, let's say, involved in the taping or in TV production then perhaps work at other TV stations, or how would that work?
So there are internship opportunities. We have some of our other schools and other programs that request their taping, their services as TV production. In terms of extracurricular activities, they are also involved in a competition called Skills USA, which they just competed in regionally, and we have over 20 students within TV production that were awarded the gold medal honor and will be therefore going to state competitions, from which then those who qualify can then compete at the national level. Our TV production program here is very well known, not only at the state level but also nationally, in terms of the level of competition that they compete at and the quality at which they are able to provide the services.
And that's why we're here doing this show today.
Exactly.
Maybe if we can talk about the issue of skills a little bit, since you mentioned Skills USA. Mm-hmm. There's this tension, right, about are our students getting the skills that they need to function in today's society? And as you know, as an educator, as you both know as educators, there's a tension between, well, we want to teach what we know versus we want to teach what students are going to need to know in the future. How do you resolve that dynamic tension?
So, so in many ways, through our internship, I think, to the extent that they're able to actually get industry experience, we're finding that students are even that much more prepared. And also in terms of the quality of the program that they're experiencing here. And so for the most part, what we have heard from students that have gone through our program, and even from their employers that have since hired them, that they have always found that the students who have gone through our program to be of very high quality. So not only in our TV production classes, many of our students then pursue a career in video. For instance, we have a student that formerly was in the TV productions program and then was hired by the district to work for our AETV production team here. And so that was a great example of someone who had gone through the program, majored in TV productions, video, at the college level, and then came back and was hired by the district to actually work as a producer. We have a very extensive internship program with our local dealerships for the auto tech program. So we have over 40 students that participate every summer in local dealerships who provide a paid internship at their service stations within their dealerships. And we always hear from dealerships such as Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, and it has been incredible because they take the time to really work with our students, prepare them. They get the hands-on experience, and then for the most part, many of them are hired after graduation, or they're put through extensive training through the specific training programs that each of the dealerships may have, and they're paid for, and then the students actually then end up working for them. So what we are finding is that students who successfully access the internship opportunities, as well as the levels of programs that are available here, that many of them pursue these areas at the highest level.
Well, fair enough. On that note, I think we're going to have to say goodbye, but I'd like to thank both of you for coming on the show and for sharing the terrific facilities you have here at the Arlington Career Center and the exchange program you have with Northern Virginia Community College. If you would like additional information about the Arlington Career Center or the students who organized and taped this segment, please visit apsva.us/Career Center. If you have comments or suggestions about higher education today, please send an email to our viewer mailbox at highereducationtoday@topcolleges.com. Thank you for watching. We will continue to bring you quality discussions about important matters in today's college and university world. Please join me again for another edition of Higher Education Today. I'm Steven Roy Goodman, and you've been watching Higher Education Today.